Two Indigo flights diverted due to engine issues. A SpiceJet aircraft was rerouted because of a cracked windshield. Air India Boeing 787 Dubai to Cochin flight grounded due to a pressure loss. June and July have not been very kind to domestic airlines in India, but SpiceJet has had the worst time of them all. The frequency of these incidents might have prompted many to ask if it is safe to fly anymore or why airlines in India are suddenly struggling with these issues. Before we get into the details of what's going on behind the scenes in the aviation space in India, a reminder to subscribe to Deccan Herald's YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss a new release. You can also follow us on all our social media handles. And now, back to our video. As you just saw, several airlines have experienced some safety-related incidents in the last couple of months. But SpiceJet, once India's second largest airline, has made the headlines more than others with multiple lapses in safety. These technical snags have brought the airline under the scanner of the airline regulator, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation or DGCA, and the company is the worst performing airline stock in the country now. Here is the timeline of the various incidents faced by the airline. On 19 June, an engine of a Delhi-bound aircraft carrying 185 passengers caught fire soon after the takeoff from Patna airport and the plane made an emergency landing minutes later. The engine malfunctioned because of a bird hit. In another incident the same day, a SpiceJet flight headed to Jabalpur had to return to Delhi due to cabin pressurization issues. Fuselage door warnings lit up on two separate SpiceJet planes while taking off on 24 June and 25 June, forcing them to abandon their journeys and return. On 2nd July, a SpiceJet flight heading to Jabalpur returned to Delhi after the crew members observed smoke in the cabin at around 5,000 feet altitude. On 5th July, SpiceJet's Delhi-Dubai flight was diverted to Karachi due to a malfunctioning fuel indicator, and its Kandla-Mumbai flight made a priority landing in Mumbai after cracks developed on its windshield mid-air. On 6th July, SpiceJet's freighter aircraft, which was heading to Chongqing in China, returned to Kolkata as the pilots realized after takeoff that the aircraft's weather radar was not working. Following these incidents, the DGCA summoned the airline on 5th July. The notice said SpiceJet aircrafts had on a number of occasions turned back to their originating airports or continued to their destinations with degraded safety margins. The DGCA asked the airline to explain why no action should be taken against it. This is a strange turn of events for a company that posted profits from 2015 to 2018. SpiceJet's losses have spiked since then, and the airline is currently under financial stress. It has incurred a net loss of 316 crore in 2018-19, 934 crore in 2019-20, and 998 crore in 2020-21. Like all airlines, SpiceJet too struggled during the COVID lockdown.
There is a financial difficulty with SpiceJet airline, right? Now, one of the first things that does happen when you have the financial difficulty with any airline is they try to cut down costs on two things. Unfortunately, both are in the news. One is on the salaries. The second is the engineering. I don't think it's really pointing towards a safety issue. What it is pointing really is towards the financial challenge that the airline has, and they need to start investing in the engineering components and parts.
But that's not all.
SpiceJet is one airline that has been stretching the regulations time and again. When you're allowed something which is called an MEL or deferred defect. I mean, if you detect a defect, you're allowed 20 days or up to 100 hours or maybe 15 landings to rectify it and clear the defect. But SpiceJet takes that to its advantage, waits for that deferred defect limit to lapse and take additional steps thereof, which is swapping a part from another aircraft to write off that defect. These are bad practices, and these bad practices originate from bad management and bad leadership.
On 14 July, a section of SpiceJet pilots gave a call for a mass sick leave. The pilots were unhappy about the massive pay cuts at the airline in the past 2 years. Some of them claimed that the airline failed to deposit their provident fund since 2020 despite deducting the amount from the salary.
The aircraft component failures are a discomfort to a passenger. Will it cause a safety issue? The probability is very low. having a disgruntled set of pilots who are not being paid properly in a cockpit, the probability that it can cause problems or a safety issue is high.
Aircraft are built with a very high level of reliability. I mean, even if you lose an engine or lose a wing, or as we say in aviation, a wing and a prayer, you can still land back safely, but not every time can you get lucky. And aviation is designed as such that those scenarios where you get into an emergency phase and you got to land back, you can't misuse and abuse and use that to the limit and then justify the fact that and say that, oh no, we're a safe airline. That doesn't exist. On the flip side, so to conclude, airlines have got to be more mature. SpiceJet has to be very, very disciplined in not allowing some of these to even happen or take place.
These incidents have also made flyers wary of the airline. A survey of 21,000 flyers conducted by local circles on 8th July shows that 44% avoid SpiceJet Airlines while traveling domestic. On 26 July, the DGCA also limited the airline to operate only 50% of its flights for 8 weeks. But these technical snags are not limited to SpiceJet. Other airlines also have had their share of technical issues.
Every airline is financially struggling. Yes, I know it's easier to say that, Indigo is still doing fantastically well. Today, Indigo reported losses, almost 11 crore loss on a daily basis. That's not sustainable, right? And when it is not sustainable, then something needs to change. Otherwise, we're just heading to do we have too many players in the market? Yes. Does the industry need consolidation? Yes, you need consolidation in order to not just from a business perspective, that means better returns to the shareholders, but also to ensure that whatever you provide it sustainably and continuously to the end customer.
However, despite numerous incidents, the DGCA's chief Arun Kumar played down the technical issues faced by domestic carriers in recent weeks, saying that even foreign airlines that came to India reported 15 technical issues in the last 16 days.
Indian aviation's maintenance related incidents, I mean, we still have one of the best performance when it comes to an aircraft accident or an unfortunate incident due to maintenance related issue. We have globally, if you look at the statistics, our performance is far, far better. And that is primarily because the way DGCA works is and that for that matter, a lot of civil aviation authority like India works is that whenever there is a certain limit that is provided by the aircraft manufacturer, DGCA actually decreases that limit to provide the margin of safety. So because of that, there is actually a lot of right from the point when DGCA approves a manual or approves a procedure, there is a lot of factor of safety already built in. So that's why I think that's why India never had those kind of incidents or accidents related to maintenance per se.
SpiceJet has been operating under looming shutdown fears for the past 8 years. The budget airline went through similar crisis 3 years back too, and it has been bailed out more than just once from such instances. It faces a different set of challenges in the post-COVID era. If it can turn things around, it will have valuable learnings to offer to other struggling airlines.